I would like to thank Val and Vane for introducing me to that song. Um, I like to thank him for introducing me to that song because holy crumbs. But let me introduce myself. Hi, I'm Kiara Strings. I am a trans woman, and this is the early stream. I was supposed to have streamed last week, but I was either too tired, too lazy, or I got up early enough and I just didn't want to stream. We've all been there. All of us have been there. And yeah, holy crumbs. Hello, welcome to 2 days before Christmas happens. Welcome, one and one all. Hopefully, you're all doing well. And like I said earlier, I want to thank Val and Vane, who I'm. There's a definite possibility I am going to raid. I am going to raid him when he starts streaming, which is going to be in like what 8. It's 5:16 right now, so I'm going to rate him at around 8 my time. And then immediately I'm going to the gym. I'm already half dressed, so why not? And yesterday I redid my hair. Um yeah, I redid my hair. So this is the longest my hair has ever been. It's gone right to my chest. Like, oh, but before that, like, again, I would like to thank Val and Vane for actually introducing me to that song. The song is called Behind the Moon. It's called Behind the Clock, and it's by AFI, which I am surprised. I am genuinely surprised about that because, like, I only knew AFI because of Miss Murder, and that was it. Miss Murder was the only song I knew, and Valen actually introduced me to that song 2 or 3 weeks ago, and like I don't know, I honestly don't know if it was. I think okay, so Valen actually told me about this song. Um, yeah, he told me about it on one of his streams, and he was talking about AFI. And again, only knew AFI through like Miss Murder, and that was like a long time ago. Like this was like a long time ago. This was early, like mid 2000s. Like like that's as far as I remember, that was the only AFI song I knew. And I looked into research on that, and they were actually like a lot more. I don't know. They were a lot more different. It's pretty much like if you are a Red Hot Chili Pepper fan and you only knew them from Stadium Arcadium, and that's as much as you knew from the band, and then you go to like the beginning of the career, and I mean beginning, like the first decade, like the 80s, and you just found out like they didn't do like the same music as they did. They were like more punk and metal and funk. Like they had funk embedded in them, but they actually put in like metal and funk. Like they pretty much like mashed up genres, and I touched my eyeshadow again, but yeah, they actually touched upon genres, and that's how I felt about AFI. Like AFI was not the AFI I knew from Miss Murder. They were a lot different before, and what ended up happening was I ended up like Valen actually mentioned AFI, and he didn't like AFI during the Miss Murder era because it was just like he thought it was kind of hopping on a trend. And what was more surprising is that I looked into Miss Murder and I found out that Jerry Finn was the producer of that song or the album. And if you don't know who Jerry Finn is, he was pretty much like the fourth member of Blink 182. He was like the producer for their big albums, like I think Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, Enema of the State, and they're Untitled. And I think he did a couple of Angels and Airwaves albums, like I think, one or two. And he did Plus 44, like the side project he did that Tom DeLonge did, and he brought along Travis Barker. And then Plus 44 was pretty much like Travis Barker joining Mark Hoppus. So, yeah, But sadly, Jerry Finn died of an aneurysm in 2009, I want to say. And that's pretty much why, like, some people just didn't, just had some sort of issues with neighborhoods because, like, from what I understand and what I've read from both, like, um, Travis Barker's book, Can I Say, and Mark Hoppus's book, Fahrenheit 451, I think. I think the book is called 451. So apparently, Jerry Finn, like, there's a reason why he's considered the fourth band member, the fourth Blink 182 member. It was because he could get solid sounds and solid grooves out of everyone. Like, as cool as he is, he's really cool like behind the scenes. Like, he was really, really, really tight with all three members of the band, and like, despite how teeth pulling the Untitled was, from what I understand, the Untitled album was a lot more. And when I mean the Untitled album, I mean this album. Like, this is the first Blink 180. No, wait. I think, no, California was the first Blink 182 album I bought. And that was because of, like, okay, here's the thing. I was not a big Blink 182 fan as a kid. Like, I really wasn't. I was like, I was a lot more into Green Day. Blink 182 just seemed like not my thing. They had a couple of good songs here and there, but I didn't I got into Green Day a lot more, and then I started digging into their output, and Blink 182 was like a lot further away. Um and so I only heard more of Blink 182 because of Ongoing History of New Music with Alan Cross. And this was pretty much when it was like a podcast. It's still a radio show. It's still a 1 hour radio show, but in podcast form, it's more like 22 minutes because in a radio show, what would happen is that you could play the entire song and you'll be okay. But with um, but with a podcast, you can't play the entire song because copyright or whatever. So, just like put like a little bit of the song that is being played at the beginning, and then somewhat and a few seconds at the beginning, a few seconds at the end, and occasionally some like the middle portion. And what would end up happening was like that was pretty much it. Like, the host would talk about what he wants to talk about, and then play a song, and then rinse and repeat for like 22 minutes. And I personally like the podcast form a little bit more, even though I grew up with the original. So he started doing the podcast thing in 2016, I want to say, around 2016. Like, Ongoing History New Music has been going on since like 90, like the early 90s, and like, despite it all, I prefer like his newer episodes because they actually are up to date. Like, again, like the up to date episodes that are on right now are probably going to be like not up to date in a year, which it is a musical climate, so it's like, yeah, it just gets dated. So one of the first episodes that was on the podcast was the rise and fall and rise of Blink 182. And um honestly, I barely listened to Blink 182 from when I heard Up All Night, or yeah, Up All Night until, yep, Up All Night was like 2010, and then the podcast about Blink 182 was 2016, I want to say. Around 26, like for that 6 year period where I only listened to one song. And the reason why I mentioned Green Day is because Blink 182 and Green Day were touring when Blink 182 was really, really high in popularity, and Green Day released Warning, which was a low point commercially. Commercially, I'm gonna say, because Warning is probably my favorite Green Day album. It probably is. It probably is. And honestly, it's some days it's Warning, some days it's Nimrod. Both are solid, solid albums. I will say that. Like, both of them are extremely solid. Um, but um, but yeah, I only knew about that from the podcast, and so I heard about like the rise and fall and rise of Blink 182. I think is in 2 or 3 parts, and it only goes up to the California era. So it I think it the episode pretty much ends, or the episode was released just at the beginning of the California era, where Tom left the second time, but this time the band didn't break up. Like the first time Tom left, the band broke up, and that's how we got like Tom did like Tom was doing Angels and Airwaves, Mark was doing Plus 44, and all that, like split apart, and they were sharing the same drummer because, quite frankly, it would save, like, instead of a session drummer, why not just have Travis Barker? Um, and so I learned about Blink 182 before I started reading Travis Barker's book. So from what I understand, like that's how I found out about Jerry Finn and all he's done. Like the last thing that he ever produced was a Morrissey album. Then he had a brain aneurysm, and then a heart attack, I think, and then that killed him. And this was like a few months before Travis Barker's plane crash. Um, so the so it was completely messed up for Blink 182 as a band. Like, um, the band members weren't really talking. Like, there was like simmering and a lot of sniping, and like, you know, Travis was like doing other things. From what I recall in his book, Travis Barker was like doing drugs. He was not taking care of himself well, according to his book. And Mark was still frustrated with Tom because of Boxcar Racer, which was Tom's side project. In what before, like, I think it was during the uh, take off your pants and jacket era. Like I think it was just before that. And what ended up happening was like, according to Travis, he's like, so did you hear about what Tom is doing with something called Boxcar Racer? And Mark's like, no, I don't. I never heard anything about this at all. And Travis is like, oh crap, he didn't. And so because of Boxcar Racer, there was like tension, and there was a lot of tension because Boxcar Racer was something Mark wanted to do, like something that should have been like part of Blink. And thankfully, we got something out of this. And going back to this is the Untitled album, which is, I think this is the second Blink album I ever got, and I tried to find this in stores. Again, this was 2016, and like, yeah, so I tried to find it, couldn't find it, so I ended up just buying it. Yeah, I ended up just like buying the album online, which is something I rarely do. Like I rarely buy albums online. Like the only albums I ever bought online were the Untitled, Sanja, um, Loud Arrival by Sanja. What else did I get online? Like what other I I don't know. Let me see if I actually got anything else online. I don't think I think I only bought 2 albums online, but the case is, Jerry Fit, like this album is probably their best album. Like this, like untitled album or self-titled album, some people say it is. The thing is, like, but it was like pulling teeth. Like there was a lot of sounds to it, and like I'm really glad that this was like like I'm not glad that Jerry Finn died. Like it was completely tragic, but a lot of people will say that this is probably Blink 182's best album, and that was not only because of the band members here, it's because of like Jerry Finn experimenting with albums, and like it was a lot less humorous, can I say? Like Blink 182 beforehand had like um tackled teenage like um what teenagers go through, but in like a bit comedic way, but they can get serious every once in a while. Like for every fun time, like first date or the rock show, you're gonna get like Adam's song or Stay Together for the Kids, you know? And then this one, there is pretty much like no humor, but it actually kept things very interesting. And what ended up happening was that when Jerry Finn died, the dynamics kind of still changed. Like if you listen to um, the Untitled album and then Neighborhoods, which is pretty much like Tom DeLonge trying to look up to his friend Critter, somebody named Critter. Um, yeah, the name was Critter. A producer that they actually were with, not were with, like somebody like that Tom worked with, and but then again, Neighborhoods actually had more of a chaotic production because yes, the band was back together, but there was still a little bit of tension in terms of things, you know, like say what you will about the Untitled album, at the very least, the band members actually worked together. Like, they weren't necessarily on the same page, but they were working together. Um, but with Neighborhoods, they were all still doing different things. Like, according to Alan Cross, they were like, each of the band members had like three managers. Like, no, four managers. I think three for each member, and then one for like the entire for the entire band. So Neighborhoods ended up being a kind of fractured. Like it felt like Angels and Airwaves by way of Blink 182, which I don't have a problem with. I would like if you're an Angels and Airwaves fan, you probably like it. Like I like a few songs from Neighborhoods. Like I do like Ghosts on the Dance Floor, which absolutely slaps. Like I do like that song. And I do like Up All Night. Like I absolutely do like Up All Night. Luciferian, how are you? Welcome on in. I hope you're doing okay. I was just um sorry, like I was just talking about Blink 182 for like 10 minutes. I don't know what happened. Like I know there was a point to all this, but I was talking about Blink 182 for no reason. Okay, I have been listening to a few Blink 182 songs over the past little while. Um, but what was I gonna say? Um, but I hope you're doing okay, Luciferian. Um, this is probably gonna be a 3 hour stream. Hopefully, it'll be like not probably 3 hours, probably three. I don't know. I said 90 minutes. Last time I streamed, it was 90 minutes, and I meant it, and I did exactly 90 minutes. Here's hoping it's not going to be 2 hours. So, what was I saying? Blink 182. Eka, how are you? Welcome on in. How did the rest of your stream go? Yes, I was lurking on your stream. I was lurking on your stream. If you're not following Eka777, go follow her. She just finished streaming. She was talking about stories. I I was lurking, but I didn't get a chance to hear what you were saying. Like, hopefully your stream went well. I saw you and Spencer were talking. Um, so I was talking about Blink 182. You saw me lurking, as long as you didn't call me out. Because here's the thing, Eka, and I know like there are people who I learned this from. You do not call out people who lurk. Like you can't. Like, and I'm saying this to everybody, and I've been told this before. Do not call out people who you lurk. Like, because some people who lurk just don't want to be like shouted out or like have attention to. They just like the vibes. You are on your best behavior. Okay, yeah, Your best behavior. Oh yeah, I get that. Um, but I was sorry. I was talking about Blink 182, and I just needed to get something across because I was playing a song earlier. Um, so I was talking about Blink 182, and I was talking about how their last album, "Who Was Calling Us." Um, I don't know, Oscar. I have no idea. What you tell me. You tell me. And welcome on in. You were lurking? Oh. I mean, here's the thing. Hell, General Kenobi. But I was saying that I don't really call out people who are lurking. I'll say hi lurkers and leave it at that. Like I don't even look at my stream list whenever I stream because I don't want to disturb people. I rather just like be doing my own thing and then people in chat come in. I'd rather just do that. I'm one of those people. Um, but yeah, I was just talking about Blink 182, like neighborhood, like I was talking about neighborhoods and like how it was their Blink 182's first album without Jerry Finn. And you can tell that there is a difference between how Jerry Finn did things and how somebody else would do things. Like neighborhoods, like Jerry Finn knew where you're coming from in terms of production, and also he wanted to add his own spin on things, and he knew what Blink 182 should sound like. Like the Blink 182 ness is there, it's still there, but they're still more mature and experimental. Whereas Neighborhoods was the first without Jerry Finn, and like it just felt like Angels and Airwaves by way of Blink 182. In a way, like Freaky Styley by the Red Hot Chili Peppers wasn't necessarily a Red Hot Chili Peppers album, but as is like um, George Clinton, who produced that album, doing a Red Hot Chili Peppers album. It was pretty much like Red Hot Chili Peppers, but in a way, not really. I mean, they're there. It's just that it's completely different by way of another person. And considering that Tom DeLonge was still in Angels and Airwaves and he's still doing his own thing, it's like he's pretty much like Blink 182, but it's still Blink 182, but it's like my direction. And he's admitted that, like, yeah, it didn't completely work because even back in the day where like Mark and Travis were like, I don't know, something's just off about this. But then again, they were all working in different studios. Like Travis was still doing things, so he would send in drum fills, and he'd send like the drum fills through the internet to like Mark and Tom. So that's why the album sounds a bit fractured at times because the band themselves were not really in the same room some of the time. And then there was tension more and more. And according to Travis, it's like Tom didn't really care as much as he did, and that's why it's like, okay, I'm leaving for a second time, and then he comes back about 10 or so years later, um, with another album, so I'm talking about Jerry Finn all this time, and that's why I want to talk about Jerry Finn. So the song that I actually played, so the song I played by AFI, like, okay, so this is the song that I was playing earlier. Okay, so that was a piece of a song. It's right here. This is the song. It's called Behind the Clock by AFI. That Valen Vane actually showed me on one of his streams, told me about. He said, for those of you who don't know AFI, Miss Murder, a lot of us know who the song Miss Murder. And the reason why I mentioned Jerry Finn was because I was shocked that Jerry Finn, best known as the producer for Blink 182, ended up producing that album, the album that Miss Murder came from. And I was surprised when I heard this AFI song because it sounds like if Depeche Mode looked at U2 and said that we can darken it. That's how it sounds like. Like, I feel like the gothic Depeche Mode went gothic in the 80s. Depeche Mode looked at 80s U2 and said, we can do that. Like, and that was absolutely, because it sounds like something from the 80s. It sounds like a post-punk song from the 80s, you know? And I was absolutely all about that, you know? I was like, holy crumbs. And then I ended up listening to it several times. So, yeah, like, I might have Miss Murder more in my head, but I genuinely do like this song. Like, I wish that that song came out in 2013. Or 2013 to 2015, because did they ever discuss their influences? AFI? Let me see. Because I know they have influences. Their musical style has been described as punk rock, hardcore punk, emo, gothic rock, horror punk, post-hardcore. Like, they actually, they were actually, yeah, they were a lot more towards that. But their music changed a lot often. You know, their music actually did change a lot. Like, originally, apparently, they were a hardcore punk band, and then they went to horror punk, then post hardcore and emo, then electronic and new wave. So they probably were really influenced. Like, they like grew out of their original sound. I wonder who they were listening to. If it was like hardcore punk, I would honestly say, let me see something. Um, okay, so their influences were like The Cure, Bauhaus, Joy Division, Sisters of Mercy, in terms of punk and hardcore to dark 80s albums or bands. And they had rock bands like Guns N' Roses and Metallica, and industrial bands like Skinny Puppy, Ministry, and The Smiths. Um, yeah, that Depeche Mode vibe. Um, I wonder if like they had other bands that have inspired the band were Echo and the Bunnymen, Bad Religion, Deftones, Tom Waits, Jawbreaker, Dead Kennedys, Sly and the Family Stone, Operation Ivy, Faith No More, Mr. Bungle, Primus, Green Day. Um, yeah, like they have been inspired a lot, and they have been going around since 1991. I actually, considering considering a few things, I thought that AFI was like came from 1980s, like from the 1980s. Um, that's what I was surprised about. Um, I was just surprised they came out from they came out in 1991. Um, because they seem like a much older band, because that new song came out I think this year or last year. Do you think that they did their take on Depeche Mode better? I mean, probably, like, I don't know, because Depeche Mode didn't sound like Depeche Mode back in the day. Like, the only Depeche Mode album I have is songs of love and devotion. Um, but I'm thinking that it was them trying to do Depeche Mode doing U2, which is like, I mean, I can see why, considering like apparently their entire album is based on 80s post punk, you know? Like if it came out, if this album came out in 2013 or 2015, a time period where I was all about like 80s post punk, like the I used to spin the crap out of Bela Lugosi's Dead by Bauhaus. And I spun a lot of The Cure. Like especially uh not what was it called? Boys Don't Cry or da, da, a forest. A forest. I love that song. I love the song A Forest. Like the first time I heard that song was because I looked one day a few years ago. I was looking up. Peter Murphy was the last concert I was at in Houston. Nice. Um, I'm guessing you never saw the spin-off of Bauhaus, which was Sex and Rockets. Was that what it was called? Sex and Rockets? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it was called. Um, Love and Rockets. Oh, yeah, okay. I just got there. I just got there. Love and Rockets. Um, love them, saw them a few times. I should get into them, but currently I'm just kind of into like my metal phase slash Michael Jackson phase. Okay, so I got two albums. Okay, so um, I had to go get a Christmas present for my sister. Yeah, so I end up having to go get a Christmas present for my sister. They have a don't have a deep catalog. Oh yeah, like sometimes less is more. Like sometimes you can have like four of the best albums of all time, and that's all you need. Nobody needs like we all like we all know a group that could have stopped before their last album, and their last album was garbage. You know, like the Clash, completely solid catalog, except their last album, which was Cut the Crap, and CCR, completely solid album output, and then their last album came out. Um, but um, but apparently the new Cure album is amazing, and I want to hear it. But in terms of music, so I actually had to go get my sister a Christmas present, and so there was like in the city, there was some sort of out some place where you can purchase like selling albums for cheap, and so my partner actually told me to look at it, and we ended up going on Sunday. So we went Sunday morning, and we got a few things. I got my sister a vinyl of, well, where is it? You know what? I'll just get it. Hold on a minute. So this is what I got for my sister. I have the CD, but um, this is Riot by not Metric, Paramore by no, Riot by Paramore, cuz I kind of went into some sort of Paramore kick, and I really like their music to the point to where I even have like the CD version. The CD version I want. I got the CD version, and I bought my sister this, um, the vinyl version. Thank you, Eka. You look lovely in your stream too. So, what ended up happening was because the CDs are very cheap, especially when they're being sold at like semi flea markets. So I ended up buying two albums or getting two albums. Um, One of them was Michael Jackson's Dangerous, which makes this the second Michael Jackson album I have in my discography, because this is my favorite Michael Jackson album. And the first album I bought what Michael Jackson was this. the History album, which is pretty much like um a two discer, which I am sort of mixed on unless here's the thing. Double albums are mixed for me. Like double albums are absolutely mixed for me. Like I only have a few double albums. I have History by Michael Jackson. Um Let me see. History by Michael Jackson, Eminem's Curtain Call, the first one, Stadium Arcadium by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness by Smashing Pumpkins. I don't know if like, okay, does a deluxe edition count? Does a deluxe edition count as a double album? Like physical graffiti. Yes, I that is also a double album. An album that I don't really listen to. Okay, physical graffiti. Yes, I mostly listen to the first album. The second album, the first CD. The second CD is where I go, because as much as I love, I don't have the wall. I don't have the wall. That's the thing. I do not have the wall. Um, I also have Hardwired to Self Destruct, which is also a double album. Um, what else do I have? I think that's it. But I don't know if this counts. So this is like Pearl Jam's 10, the deluxe edition from 2009. So this was pretty much like 19 years old. I think it was almost 20 years old. So it was no 18 years old. This is like the 18th anniversary edition where there's like 3 CDs in here. The first CD is like the original 10, like nothing is touched. It was just like, okay, this is the original album and that's it. And then the second CD is the same album but with bigger production, or the production is like toned with it. Like not only is the production like updated, but there's also other songs. Like the song listing goes from 11 to 17. Like some of these songs go back to like the 90s when they originally put it on, but it was cut for time, I guess. So, yeah, there's that. And also the last CD is a DVD, and it was their unplugged performance. So there's that. And I think that's all the. Is that all the. I think that's all the double albums I have. Yeah, I think that's all the double albums I have. So I got Dangerous by Michael Jackson. Okay, so double albums are a bit tricky for me because sometimes they can work, but you do risk bloating unless it's kind of like the unplugged stuff is a series. Yes, it is. But it's basically, and I'm gonna say this in the Metallica video if I ever like get to it and have the competence to get in front of the camera and look at myself while editing. The Unplugged series is pretty much like a glorified acoustic, a glorified coffee album. Can I just, okay, so it's a glorified coffee album, like an out, like you know when you go to a coffee shop and there's like people playing acoustic guitars and it's like quiet, it's like in the background, but think of MTV's Unplugged, but it's sponsored and there's no coffee and people are paying attention to original material stripped down to unplug to like acoustics, which is fine. It is an acquired taste. Pumpkin latte elevator music. I wouldn't even say elevator music. Like elevator music is kind of like music you listen to at the dentist. And I don't think you can hear coffee house music in like an elevator. As far as I know, you can't. Um I don't know, that's just me. But like I said, double albums are a risk unless it's like a greatest hits thing. Like with the greatest hits, it's one thing. Like I could get through Michael Jackson's history fine, mostly due to the fact because the first CD again is the first CD is a greatest hits album, and there it's like songs that you've heard from before, like every single song you heard from before, like Billie Jean, The Way You Make Me Feel, Black or White, Thriller, Bad, like all the stuff from, and I'm saying this, his solo stuff, not the stuff he did with Jackson 5. I mean his solo stuff from what was it called? From Off the Wall to Dangerous. Like the four that you need. So it's stuff from Off the Wall, Thriller, Bad, and Dangerous. The main four, the big four. And like then the first CD mostly takes most of the hits and puts it into that first CD. I'm still shocked that they didn't put Smooth Criminal on there because they could have put they they could have taken they could have put Smooth Criminal here instead of like The Girl Is Mine. Like The Girl Is Mine is probably the weakest song from Thriller. Why not just take that off and put Smooth Criminal? Smooth Criminal is a much better song. Like, I'm just looking at this and there's nothing like you can take Heal the World, but you need that showstopper. Like that's pretty much from what I recall. That's why like people were actually confused back when Thriller was new because the first single from Thriller was The Girl Is Mine, which makes sense. It kind of confused me at first, but it makes sense considering who else was in that song, and that was like if you're doing a song with a former Beatle, especially if you are like one of the biggest entertainers of all time and one of the members of one of the biggest bands from the 60s and 70s comes and does a duet with you, you're taking like a risk for this single, for putting it as a single. But as the first single, as the first like again, I understand like wanting to put a song like a duet with a former Beatle as your first single. But people were surprised at how soft it felt, especially compared to the rest of Thriller. The Wall makes sense as a rock opera project. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but in terms of rock operas, I grew up with American Idiot and 21st Century Breakdown and The Black Parade. Like, in terms of rock operas, those are my rock operas. The Wall I absolutely appreciate. I just can't get into Pink Floyd at this moment. Like, Pink Floyd is, in terms of like 70s music, Pink Floyd is not a band that I'm trying to get into. That, the 70s band that is prog rock that I'm trying to get into is King Crimson. I mean, the project Justified. It did. Okay, yeah, it did. And also, considering that they were a prog rock band, like, how long is The Wall? Like, exactly how long is The Wall? I want to know this. The Wall is... Because... Let's see. Don't tell me. I'm going to see. 81 minutes. Yeah, 81... Holy crumbs. 81 minutes? And The Dark Side of the Moon is 42 minutes. I thought that album was longer, but like... And here's the thing. There is criticisms with The Wall. There is legit criticisms with The Wall. Like, 81 minutes is a bit much, but there are albums that I like that are over an hour, like Francis the Mute by Mars Volta, which absolutely I like that album fine, but I absolutely get the criticisms, especially with the ambience that actually happens, and that album is 75 minutes long. Like Death Magnetic by Metallica is 75 minutes long. And that's justifiable because of the album that came before it, which was 74 minutes long, and it was a big fat load. Um, but I'm just saying that here's what I'm saying. Double disc albums are tricky again. Again, like I said about Michael Jackson, double disc albums are tricky unless you're doing um like a greatest hits. Like greatest hits is fine because one disc could be greatest hits and the other could be like original material. Like History. History I think was criticized because of that. I personally don't mind it because I like hearing the hits, but like the second album is just wall to wall material, like original material, and I like it. I absolutely like 70% of that second album, like that second disc, and that's it. Like I personally don't care for the last two songs, Little Susie or Smile. Um, I don't care about those two, but like if you're gonna have double albums, make it like you could have again greatest hits. Like the one of the first greatest hits albums I ever got was actually a no. One of the first ones I ever bought was Eminem's Curtain Call, and the entire first disc, with the exception of two songs, was all hits, like all wall to wall hits. And then the second disc is pretty much like five songs, five or six songs, and it's pretty much like a mixtape or things that were released on albums but were put on this album as some sort of mixtape. But like the reason as to why I say you have to be careful in terms of double albums is because of bloat. You can get bloat. Like Melancholy and Infinite Sadness is probably one of the best albums to come out from the 90s, but it suffers from bloat. Hardwired to Self Destruct by Metallica is a really good album. It has about 7 really banging songs, and then the rest you can like keep. I don't even know why it's actually a two discer, like because it's essentially Hardwired to Self Destruct. No, it's Death Magnetic. Like they did the same album, but they split it into 2 CDs, and they come up with the same runtime. So there's really no point in putting them into like splitting up into 2 discs, unless you just want to listen to one disc and then just go away. My criticism of the wall is this: when I saw it in the theaters at midnight, someone puked on my shoes. Well, there's your problem. You saw the wall at midnight. Like you essentially saw something that is going to essentially like trip you out or kill your buzz at midnight. Like I actually ended up here's the thing. I remember okay, so the second album that I got from the album store was This Velvet Rope by Janet Jackson, an album that I was looking for, and it ended up being $2. I mean, you could see that there are cracks everywhere. There are cracks and scratches, but you know, it just shows character. And this is pretty much a template for any pop star to go dark. Like, okay, Janet Jackson wasn't exactly bubblegum pop. Okay, her first 2 albums, yes. But then Rhythm Nation came about, and they're like, oh, okay, she has her own identity. And then this album came out, and it talked about depression, self-worth, and not to mention a lot like BDSM and love, and like, and this was pretty much like, yeah, we're just like, this is pretty much goes to show like you can be pop, but at the same time you can actually go into darker themes. And Janet Jackson was going through a tough time making this album. Like, this is probably, if dangerous is to Michael Jackson as this Velvet Rope was to Janet Jackson. Just like a reason us to go dark and a reason to actually go more ambitious. I have yet to listen to this Janet Jackson album, but I do like the songs that I heard from it. You know. Um, but okay, so speaking of the wall, I actually did. Okay, so for back when I was actually doing comedic videos for music videos or making fun of music videos, I was actually like doing a video, like writing a script for about Doug Walker's The Wall parody, which is not a good parody. It's not a good video. His video nor mine, but I decided to do some research, so I listened to the album first, and then I listened to the Roger Waters album, and then I watched the movie. So I had some sort of idea of what I was going into in terms of the wall. And then I watched like the Nostalgia Critics video, and I'm like, should have I bothered? Because he didn't bother. Like, he absolutely didn't bother with that. Like, he missed the point on several things in terms of like the wall. Like, the wall can be criticized, but he just made it. He kind of missed the point entirely, which is a criticism which is something that he always had, but after a while you start to notice. Um, like, I think he did a video about the Vin Diesel movie. What was it called? The Pacifier. I don't know if anybody remembers that movie. It came out like 20 years ago, and it was pretty much like one of the template for tough guys to do cutesy kid movies like The Rock and The Game Plan, Hulk Hogan with Mr. Nanny, and Santa with I don't know what is going on with like those tough guy movies, but um yeah, he actually was like like, talk about a movie he missed a point of. No, what? No, that and Thunderbolts. He missed the point of Thunderbolts. Like, he thought a certain character was just nothing but comic relief, even though like there was a lot more to that character. Like, the movie Thunderbolts, spoiler alert, talks about depression. Like, it absolutely talked about depression, and one of the characters actually, like, most of the characters have like depressive mindsets, you know. And one character, the Doug Walker, straight up was like, "This is just like comic relief. He's just nothing but comic relief." And it's like, no, like, and he actually missed the point about him being in like a chicken suit, and it's like, well, what is that on your ceiling lamp? That's just my Murkrow. It's the Pokemon Murkrow. Um, my partner bought this for me a few years ago, and I didn't know where to put it, so the Murkrow is going to be right there. Back at my old house, behind you and above you. Oh, you mean this? Oh, you mean this thing? Are you talking about this lamp? Or oh, crumbs. Okay, I might have gone a little too far. Sorry, I usually have my preview disabled. Um, this is my okay. So this is my do rag for Jim, and this is my other hat. I usually just put them on the lamp because I don't know where to put them. Um, so let me put them back. If that's distracting you, I could just put it right here. Um, I would feel bad if a monster. No monster is gonna come for me. Like I'm right. Where's the monster gonna come for me? This is not supernatural. This is not. This is not the episode. This is. I am not in an episode of Supernatural. There is no monster that's gonna come after me. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Thunderbolts. So Doug Walker actually missed the point of like a guy just being. He thought the guy was just pure comic relief. Um, but the guy was completely serious. Like he's kind of funny, but at the same time, he the character was dealing with depression, and then like it's pretty much like if you watch Thunderbolt, it's just hammered in. Like it is absolutely hammered in, and I didn't cry, but it was the first I felt in a Marvel movie. Like I've never felt so. There's only a few Marvel movies that actually made me feel genuinely sad. Like Thunderbolts, yeah, and what's it called? Wakanda Forever. Like Wakanda Forever, like the cold open alone is extremely sad because of the reality subtext. Like, yeah, the first 5 minutes is pretty much like the equivalent of the first 10 minutes of Up. Like, it's genuinely like, holy crumbs. Um, but like, yeah, Thunderbolts, I would recommend. I absolutely would recommend. And another movie that I would recommend is Halloween Ends. I don't know if anybody actually is still watching Halloween. Like, you know, the one that had Jamie Lee Curtis from 1978, and she was in the second movie, and then she comes back for Halloween H2O, and then she had a cameo in Resurrections, and then she did like the Halloween 2018 movie and the two sequels. Um, like, didn't the Jason actor die? Which Jason actor? I don't know if any Jason actor died. Did a Jason actor die? Who knows? Um, Jason Voorhees. Let me check something. Portrayed by Ari, then Steve. Oh, Steve Daskowitz died in 2018. And he was known for his role as a stunt double for the serial killer. Um, Richard Broker died in 2013. Ted White died in 2022. Um, there was a. Here's the thing. There are a fair share of actors who did portray Jason Voorhees. Like, there's like several here. There's like over a dozen. She's that role is a. Not necessarily like. How many? Two, three. Only three of them died. Like, only three of them died. And I'm wondering, is the Jason actor that you're actually thinking about Kane Hodder? Because he's still alive. Um, one of them died because of diabetes related complications. Um, Another died of a suspected heart attack, and another died at the age of 96. I'm pretty sure that last one is Yeah, the last one is probably, you know, yeah, like quite possibly natural causes. And the last guy who died at 90, who is in 96, he was born in 1926 and he played Jason in a 1984 movie. He was like 58 when he did that movie. Yeah, he was in his 50s, you know? So I'm pretty sure that's fine. But I've never watched a Friday the 13th movie. I've watched the first 5 Nightmare movies, and I watched, let me see. I watched the first Halloween. I watched Halloween H2O. Okay, I think Halloween H2O and the last 3 no, wait. First Halloween H2O, Resurrection, and the last 3 Halloween movies. Yeah, I watched 6 Halloween movies. And I absolutely love the fact the rumors that was spread about Jamie Lee not wanting to be in the Halloween Resurrection. But what ended up happening was like the producers I think lied about it and said, "Oh, she didn't want to be in the movie, but she thought the script was so good that she wanted an extended stay." But no, that was a lie because the movie was garbage. Entertaining, but it was still garbage. Um, but the reason why I say Halloween Ends is a movie you should all watch is because it's not a great movie. It is flawed. It is absolutely a flawed movie. But it absolutely is a genuinely it's atmospheric as hell. Not okay, atmospheric, and it doesn't it the slasher aspect comes second. um First psychological, like it's kind of psychological, you know, like okay, so it's pretty much like about like this kid who accidentally, spoiler alert for anybody who wants to watch it, this kid, essentially a kid who snaps, like a kid who snaps because a town is just like smashing down on him because of something he did, and they're just essentially like hounding him and making him the boogeyman, and so he's like snapping. And so like Michael Myers is still in the movie, but he's more like a supporting character kind of. And like the reason why I suggest this is because like it goes to show you that anybody can turn into who they end up as if they actually are in a situation where people, 95% of people are making them suffer, like essentially just making them suffer. um but yeah, like, oh, I talked about Blink 182 and Halloween. I didn't even mention the fact that I didn't even mention what happened. I'm sure a lot of you knew what happened or have heard about what happened, I think 2 weeks ago. Something I was supposed to have talked about on stream. So, um, the death of Rob Reiner and his wife, which was genuinely shocking. Um, so so the day he died, or not the day he died, I found out that he died not through Reddit because I don't stopped using it, but through like me going through the death list or like typing up people who died in like 2025 because I usually do that every morning just to see. Okay, I'm absolutely morbid. I'm gonna be honest. I am 100% morbid, and I am 100% gonna say that it is morbid of me. I've been doing this since 2008, where I would type up a year and look up who died in that year on Wikipedia. It's like who died in January, December of so and so year. Um, I've been doing it since Heath Ledger died in 2008. So yeah, I've been doing it for a while. You know. Hi, Penguin Queen. How are you? If you want, I could give you a shout out. Um, yeah, I know Conan O'Brien is somewhat involved, but let's leave him alone. He's he he's like he lost his parents this year. I think we should just no. I think we he lost his parents this year, so I think we should just leave him alone. He just wanted to do a party after all that's happened this year. He just wanted like, hey, let's let everybody else just do this. So let's not involve him. But here's the thing: like I heard Rob Reiner died when I was still in bed, not through Reddit, but again, like the deaths in 2025, and I was looking at it, and my partner was in bed, and I was like, okay, who died? And I'm like, okay, and I'm like, wait, Rob Reiner's dead? I'm like, wait, Rob Reiner's dead? And there was this no, and I was like, no way. And my partner, without skipping a beat, is like, oh, you found out that Rob Reiner died? And I'm like, yeah, how'd you know? It's like, yeah, it's all over the news. I'm like, I didn't hear about this. And apparently, like, I don't mind, hun, miss you, girl, been struggling. Lucy, I miss you too. Um, and I'm sorry you're struggling a lot. I'm absolutely sorry. Like, I was wondering why you weren't streaming, but I understand if you just need some time. But, um, if you're not following Penguin, go give her a follow. She's absolutely amazing. Thanks to DJ Alpha Omega, like, rating her. She's been nothing but kind and supportive and very friendly. So please give her a follow. Like, she absolutely is amazing and sweet. And I'm sorry if you're struggling. I'm absolutely sorry that you're struggling with, like, things. Just know that you're not alone. Like, just know that you are absolutely not alone. Okay? Um, but, um, but in terms of Rob Reiner, I was genuinely shocked about him and his wife's death. Um, the Onion Poltergeist is back. No idea what that is. Um, but I was surprised about that. Like, so in terms of Rob Reiner, the first thing I ever saw him in was Ed TV back in high school. This was way after Ed TV came out. I never heard of Ed TV until like I was in high school. And you know, it was that movie with Matthew McConaughey saying yes to a reality show because like, you know, reality show people need I forgot why, but Matthew McConaughey ended up signing a contract. His character signed this contract. Thank you for the lurk. So his character signs a contract, and one of the characters that is the head of the company of this reality TV show, is Rob Reiner. And I thought he was absolutely like, I thought he was funny, charismatic, and in a way like, and antagonistic. He's antagonistic. Um, but like that's the first time I ever heard of Rob Reiner, like ever, because the ghost cutting onions, because not because you're super sweet. I'm gonna have to get Dean and Sam and Dean Winchester to help with the Casper the Ghost situation. Um, but like that was like the him in Ed TV was the first thing I saw him in, and then eventually I found he did like um what's it called? He directed movies like um I saw, let me see, like in terms of like directing movies, um let me see what he did. He directed This Is Spinal Tap, which I watched, and I thought it was kind of funny. I finally watched The Princess Bride in 2021. Like, I watched that years after I read the book. Like, I finally did that. And I actually did enjoy watching that movie. When Harry Met Sally, I'm going to watch. I have it on DVD. Misery, I never watched. Um, Actually, I want to watch Spinal Tap 2, kind of. I'm on the fence about that. Um, like he hits, and then he made probably his worst movie, which was North. And you look at the movie North, you look at the cast, and you're actually surprised in how it's an all-star cast. Like, you have Elijah Wood, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Jason Alexander, John Ritter is in it, Scarlett Johansson's in it, John Lovitz is in it. Like, it's an all-star cast. And speaking of Misery, Kathy Bates. Like, you look at this cast, and it's, like, super stacked. And you have Rob Reiner directing it, and it's like, how will that miss? And then you watch the movie. North is Rob Reiner's worst movie. In terms of directing, it's his worst movie. Like, I personally think so. Like, he's made a few bad movies, but North is the worst. Like, it is the worst because it is hacky in terms of its humor. And it's makes fun of stereotypes, but it actually is embracing them. Like, they go to Alaska, and it's pretty much like low-hanging fruit, right down to Kathy Bates being in Darkface to play somebody in, oh god. And then you like, and eventually, like, most of us knew North because of the Roger Ebert saying that he hated this movie, hated this movie, hated every single stupid minute of the movie. Like, and I watched it. It's not a good movie. It's putrid. And Rob Reiner was like, yeah, like, I wanted to direct my own Fable. And it's like, did you forget about The Princess Bride, which is probably like your most beloved, one of your most beloved, if not beloved, the beloved movie that you directed? Did you forget about that movie? Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but The Princess Bride was based on a book. Yeah, so was North. North was also based on a book. Like, North was based on a book that came out in the 80s. Like, the book was called North, the Tale of a 9-Year-Old Boy Who Becomes a Free Agent and Travels the World in Search of the Perfect Parents, by somebody who is also a comedian, somebody named Alan Zwebel. And he's won 5 Emmy Awards and 2 Writer Guild Awards. And so, this man knows his business. He actually spent 5 years on SNL. Like, he wrote for SNL from 1975 to 1980. He also wrote in, like, Curb Your Enthusiasm and the Gary Shandling Show and Monk. So yeah, like, it was based off of a book, but the movie turned out to be absolute garbage. But yeah, like, aside from that, like, him, like, I didn't know much about him. I just knew that he was talented, you know? Seeing him in 30 Rock for that one episode, where, like, he is pretty much, like, playing, like, he's kind of spoofing himself. Like, he's like working with Queen Latifah at a meeting, and at one point Like, okay, I should probably show you the clip. I want to show you the clip because, like, a lot of people, like, Rock, Rob Reiner. Like, it's a short clip.
My name is Rob Reiner. Before I became a congressman, I dabbled in television, won a couple of Emmys, and I believe that my experience out there in Hollywood gives me a special insight into these types of deals. Say it, meathead.
By the way, everybody should watch 30 Rock. Everybody should just watch 30 Rock. Like, seriously. Like, in all honesty, just watch 30 Rock. I mean, it stumbles here and there, especially with the fourth season and the last season. The fourth season suffers from a few things. It's still good, but it just kind of stumbles. The last season suffers because of its short episode length. But what happened? But yeah, watch 30 Rock. Just watch it. But yeah, just like that clip, just like him just saying rhubarb, rhubarb, rhubarb. I actually like, and I keep forgetting that he was an actor first and then a director apparently. Apparently. Because he was in a show called All in the Family, a show that I watched a few episodes of. You know? And can I just say, like, no, not what did he do first? Wait, I forgot. What did he do first? Yeah, he was an actor and then a director. But most people know him as a director and then are surprised that he was an actor first. Like, he was in All in the Family, a show that I never grew up on, you know? A show that apparently does hold up, you know? It's a show that apparently does hold up because of the many, many social issues. Yeah, like, a show with social issues, sign me up. Although, that is another show that people will actually tend to get wrong or straight up say that Archie Bunker is a hero, despite the fact that he is classified as a bigot. Like, he is a bigot through and through. But yeah, holy crumbs, that show. I watched like 2 or 3 episodes like in the 2010s, and then I just kind of moved on. The 2010s, I was just watching other shows like Titus or Community, especially Titus. No, wait, especially Community. Like, a lot of Community. But yeah, like, when I heard about how Rob Reiner just died, I'm like, oh God. Like, it's sad whenever somebody who's famous dies, but this kind of gives me Phil Hartman vibes. This kind of gives me, like, Rob Reiner's death kind of just gives me Phil Hartman's death vibes. Except, you know, where he died, his wife died by her own hand. And where he died, his wife died, but they both got... Oh, wow, it's... Yeah, I liked Community as well. Like, for my sister, I got her a season for each Christmas or birthday. Like, every Christmas, like, for a while, it's like, I know what I'm going to get her for Christmas. The first season of, like, Community. Her birthday, the second season, then the third season. Eventually, I just got her the whole, like, I got her every season of the show. Like, Community was such a really good show for the first 2 seasons. It had some stumbling issues for the 3rd season. The 4th season is bad. And the 5th and 6th seasons were good, but the groove was kind of gone. It's my comfort zone. It's so random. It's not I don't think having Community as a comfort zone of your as your comfort show is random. I don't like any show is a comfort show for some people. Like my comfort show might have to be Supernatural. I think. I think so. Is that my comfort show? Oh, the show is random. It's funny. Oh, I personally don't think that it's that random. Like I don't think it's as much random as much like community is okay. The directions that they went, you couldn't have thought of it. I mean, okay, in terms of like I don't think it's much as random as extremely ambitious. Like the directions that that show took, I don't think that's as much random as much as extremely ambitious and focused. So, in terms of randomness, in terms of like things, I would say something along the lines of Kappa Mikey is random. You know, Community is not a show where I'd say that's a show that is completely random. I'd say that the show is ambitious. It goes for what it needs to go to, and most of the time the ambition works out for the best. Um because it had a showrunner that actually knew the direction it needed to go to the point to its detriment later on where it got tiring, um, and it just kind of fried a lot of people, especially behind the scenes, you know. um, I'm cautiously optimistic for the movie. I don't know if like I'm hoping that it'll be good. I'm actually just hoping that it'll be better than season 4. Like at least the last 3 seasons. Cuz season 5 and 6 were good. Like they were good, but something was off. I think it was because like some of the cast is just gone. Like no Chevy Chase, no Donald Glover, no Yvette Nicole Brown. Like like one by one it just kind of like the spark was there, but it was an entirely different spark. Like the first 2 seasons were breaths of fresh air, were a breath of fresh air. The third season was just more of a let's take the breath, let's be more ambitious, and let's deconstruct a little bit. And um, the fourth season was random. I'll give it that. The fourth season was completely random due to the directionlessness of it. Like, say what you will about Dan Harmon as the showrunner, the direction that he took with the first 3 seasons and season 5 and 6, they actually had a direction of growth along with ambition. Like the genre tackling what that show did actually helped the character development and progress the long story, the story arcs. And then season 4 was pretty much like a parody or a fan fiction of Community. Like it just seemed like a satire of itself. Season 4 you can argue is random, but not in the best way, especially with the first 3 seasons like and then season 5 and 6 was where like the spark was there, but it was an entirely different spark. Like it became a well-oiled machine from a completely different direction. Um, I hope because like I mean Dan Harmon right now is doing Rick and Morty. Is he still doing Rick and Morty? Like is Rick and Morty still on? 8 seasons so far. Holy crumbs. Oh, it's still present. And the last episode of Rick and Morty, I mean, it says 2013 to present, and the season finale of season 8 was earlier this year. Holy crumbs. Like, I mean, that's just amazing. Like, I remember, here's the thing, I remember when, oh, the show's actually going to be renewed for a 12th season. It's going to like 12 seasons. Jesus. Like, wow. Um, but yeah, I remember when I was really into Rick and Morty back in like before season 3 came out. I don't remember how I heard about Rick and Morty, to be perfectly honest. Um, I don't think that was my comfort show. Wait, what is my comfort show? Is it the Drew Carey show? No, it can't be the Drew Carey show. Like a comfort show is some. It might have to be Supernatural. It might have to be. I'll have to get back to you on that. I'm just thinking, is that a comfort show of mine? It probably has to be one of them. Shoot. It's not even in my top 10 favorite shows of all time. Where was I going with all this? Oh god, it's been 90 minutes? And we are gonna go for another 90 minutes. Because last time I streamed, I said I was gonna go for 90 minutes. And I did. It was shocking to me because I could have kept going. But we'll see how long it's gonna take. Because, yeah, let's do this. So what did I do? Yeah, so Christmas shopping is done, and that's pretty much the reason as to why. Because I'm not going to be here for Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, which is kind of sad. But I'm not going to be here for Christmas Eve or day, because I'm going to be at my parents'. Yeah, I'm going to be at my parents' for like 2 days. And I already got the Christmas presents. So that includes 2 vinyls and something for my mom. Like, I don't want anything for Christmas. My sister got me a vinyl player and the Californication by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, which I have yet to. We have not used our record player at all. We don't really use it. And it's nothing personal. It's not that we don't want it. The issue is I have CDs. Like, I still listen to albums. I need a bigger desk because the albums I have are filled, like, they're almost full. It's almost full right here. Full of albums. And I'm not using Spotify. Like, you can't make me use Spotify. You can't make me, you can't make me. You can't make me, you can't make me. Oh, crumbs. Dropped frames. My frames were dropping. This is what I was afraid of. Like, I was talking about, like, 70s albums. Like, 70s prog rock albums. And I was talking about King Crimson, and I was looking for their first album because I did like their first song, 21st Century Schizoid Man. My god, I was talking about Blink-182 for like 30 minutes. Holy crumbs. It just sort of happened. Or no, 26 minutes. I was talking about Blink-182 for 26 minutes. And I'm not even as big as of a fan of Blink-182 as I am with Green Day. I don't even care much for The Offspring. They have catchy songs, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to listen to them. Like, I do not care for a Pretty Fly for a White Guy. Um, I used like then again I did listen to a lot of like a fair share of the music in college for no reason. Like, you ever have that period of time, like a small period where you're just obsessed with a band for like a month? That was me in the Offspring when I was in college. Like, I used to not spin, but listen to like Come Out and Play, um, The Kids Are Alright, um, like all the like their 90s output. I did not care for Pretty Fly for a White Guy because that felt so cheesy. You know? That that feels like a theme song for the movie Malibu's Most Wanted, a movie that I don't think anybody remembers. Good. Nobody should remember that movie. That movie is not great. Um, yeah, do not watch that movie. But I'm thinking, what is my comfort? What absolutely is my comfort movie? Shoot, what is my comfort movie? I'm just looking. I for a while it was watching the detectives. A movie that came out in like the 2000s with Cillian Murphy and Lucy Liu, which nobody has ever heard of. Nobody has heard of this movie. Although, again, it's an indie movie. Nobody has heard of this movie. And Jason Sudeikis is in it for a few minutes, but that's the case. Um, and I'm trying to sit down and watch a movie. Like, I ended up watching The Blackening again. Yeah, I watched The Blackening again, which is pretty much like a group of friends from college or high school. College come together in a cabin and they're actually being hunted down by a killer. It's the second time I watched it this year and I absolutely love the movie. Like, I couldn't stop laughing at the movie. Um like, you see Tyler Perry, this is how you do a black movie, and it's a good black movie. Sometimes it gets a bit heavy-handed with a few things, but there's characters that you like. The jokes are funny. It is, I don't think it's all that scary, but it actually has tension. No, it absolutely has tension. The characters are likable. Like, it has Dietrich Bader in it. Speaking of the Drew Carey show, um, like, it's absolutely funny. Um, and speaking of Drew Carey show, I actually started watching a few clips about Whose Line Is It Anyways? I don't know. It just sort of happened. It don't tell me it didn't happen. I saw it happen. Um, do 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 do. It it just happened. Oh, I was talking about Rick and Morty earlier. So I think that was my comfort show. I think Rick and Morty was my comfort show. Um, I think it was. But even at my edgiest, I never considered myself a Rick. Like, I never considered myself a Rick. I was either a Jerry or a Summer. Particularly, probably was a Jerry. Because no matter how edgy I was, I knew that I wasn't as. I was never a Rick. I knew that. And I never. Like, yeah. Ugh. By random, I meant Amid, like, was very random. Abed. Abed was very random, and I loved him for it. And sorry for it. No, don't apologize. Like, these streams are like podcasts at this point. Like, I don't even game. I stopped gaming 3 years ago in terms of Twitch. I actually have not. I haven't even. Yeah, most of the time, 95% of the time, I'm just here in front of a camera, just talking. It's a podcast at this point. I prefer Solar Opposites. I should probably watch that. I've only started watching Rick and Morty because of my partner for a while. Like in terms of animated shows, um, we're watching Smiling Friends and another show called Haha You're Dead. I think it's called Haha You're Dead. Haha You Clowns. Sorry. In terms of animated shows, we're watching Haha, like that show. And can I just say, just like do it. It's amazing on Netflix right now as well. Solar Opposites or Haha You Clowns. Um, like because like in terms of animated shows, the show I'm watching on random is Dan Versus, who played Metatron in Supernatural. Solar Opposites. Like, okay. Like, currently I'm actually going through, okay, so let's see. 6 seasons? Oh, the show ended earlier this year. 6 seasons? 63 episodes. I can pull it off. I did not know it lasted 6 seasons. Ah, well. But, like, okay. Like, season 6 was this year. Yeah, yeah. Um, but when I actually get home, I am going to actually buckle down and watch the last season of Star Trek Lower Decks. Like, I watched the first, all but the last season right now. Like, in terms of Lower Decks. Like, I watched every season up, like, I'm on season 5. There's 5 seasons of Star Trek Lower Decks. I watched the first 4 on DVD. Like, the library has the first 4 seasons, but they don't have season 5. Like, like, oh my goodness. Considering that I could watch one season in 2 days, which I did. Like, first season I watched in 2 days, like 5 episodes, and then the next 5 episodes. Actually, I'm watching the last season of Castlevania right now on DVD. Um, the one with Alucard and Trevor and Sephia. Sephia is, oh my god, Sephia is so. I love Sephia. Sypha? Sypha. Yeah, I love her. She is. If I could cosplay as anyone and wear a different color, it would be Sypha. Um, but who knows? Um, but like, oh, Solar Opposites was going to be created for the Fox Broadcasting Company. Like, but what is it? Which Seth MacFarlane show will they have to pull? I'm kidding. That's their bread and butter. But Den Versus is a show that I like to watch in terms of like comfort shows. Although it is a very angry and kind of pessimistic show, it's about this guy who is pretty much kind of angry at the world. And so it follows a formula where in the cold open, something inconveniences him. And now, like, because it inconvenienced him, he now has a target. Let's say, let's say the episode where he wants to get back at Canada. So something happens to him at the cold opening, and he is like stuck on pancakes. Okay, you know what? How about the werewolf? He fight like somebody has like okay, so some you know what? Forget it. Something inconveniences him, and then he lets out a loud scream like something keyed his car, or there are claw marks on his car, and he thinks it's the Wolfman. So he ends up screaming, "Wolfman!" Like he's like anytime in the cold open, like it happens in the cold open, something inconveniences him. He gets angry, and then he yells. He does this skyward scream, like, um, Canada or Wolfman, and then like the title ends up happening or coming along where it's like Dan versus, and then the thing that inconveniences him, like Dan versus the Wolfman, and then you hear a wolf, and then or Dan versus Canada, and it's just like, nice to meet you, eh? Or Dan versus technology, and it has like technology noises, and so the entire episode is him trying to get revenge on what inconvenienced him. And yes, Bisected, we are talking Dan versus. Which is a show I missed out on. But how are you doing, Bisected? I hope you're doing okay. Would you like a shout out? Like, yeah, but yes, we are talking about Dan versus. We're also talking about comfort shows. Um, yeah, we're pretty much talking comfort shows, I think. We are like I'm trying to find my comfort show. Like Den Versus is a comfort show for me. Supernatural is a comfort show. Um at one point A Bit of Fry and Laurie was a comfort show. Alright, I'll give you a shout out, Bisected. I'm pretty sure everybody has followed her. If you're not following Bisected Brioche, please go give her a follow. Like, she is a very deadpan streamer who's also trans femme, and she is a very good cosplayer, like, in terms of tiefling and dressing up as the main character from Metroid, a game series that I have tried to play. I have tried to play Metroid. I just couldn't get around to doing it because my brain is just like not is trying not to, and also as most of us are aware, Sonic came first. Sonic came first for me. I'm sorry, Sonic came first. um um not doing I'm not doing bad. Final day off before Crimbo. i'm I'm sure you said Christmas, but I'll assume Creambo is another thing. Saturday was rough. Had a customer misgender me and go off because I didn't chase a shoplifter. Screw Saturday. But I went around to my half brothers on Sunday, which was nice. Met his partner and her kids for the first time. That's nice. Crimbo is just a silly UK name for Christmas. Oh, that's fair. I'm. That's fair. I wouldn't know. I'm Canadian. Dumbass Canadian. I I didn't say that out loud, did I? Shoot. But I'm sorry that you got misgendered for by a customer. I'd suggest next time just mentally kick them in the crotch factory. And if none of you know what a crotch factory is, ask your parents. I have used that term so much. Um, but I'm glad that you're okay or doing okay, at least for now. Um, yeah, I have no idea where I'm going with this. Where am I going with this? I don't know. I'm just gonna sit here looking at the camera for the next hour, Well, it's gonna be probably an hour or so, like maybe an hour, cause I don't know. But I did finally watch Sonic 3. Speaking of movies, I watched Sonic 3 earlier this week, last week, before I went to the queer meetup. So I went last week. I went to no, I watched Sonic 3 last week. And yeah, that was a movie that made me tear up. Speaking of Sonic, um yeah, I watched all three Jim Carrey movies of Sonic. Um yeah, holy crumbs. I never had a Sonic was never supposed to make me tear up, but it did. It absolutely did. Um and I love the fact that like the movies get more and more 90s sound, like the attitude feels a lot more 90s as the series goes on. Like the first movie is essentially like, oh, Sonic's back and look, Jim Carrey. And then like the second one was essentially kind of like the same way. And then the third one is essentially like, oh look, Keanu Reeves as Shadow. Yeah, holy crumbs. That is amazing. That is mwah, perfect. And then Jim Carrey playing two roles. Yeah, this is, oh god. Like this more than makes up for the Grinch movie. Which I'm sorry, I'm going to say this. A lot of millennials are just going to be really pissed off when I say this. That Grinch movie is not good. It absolutely is not good. I feel I'm gonna be honest. People are gonna be some people agree, others are just gonna ask for my head. I personally don't think that movie is good. It absolutely is not good. Oh god. Oh, it's okay to like a movie, but this is what happens when you don't direct Jim Carrey well. You know, like same like it's not the worst thing. I think him in A Series of Unfortunate Events is much worse. Like, yeah, him as Count Olaf sucked. Like, that's why I am so glad he played Robotnik in those Sonic movies, because he's unhinged, but at the same time he's directed well. Whereas like in him as Count Olaf, it's pretty much the same issue I had him with like um the Riddler, where he's just riffing and it's just so directionless. Him as the Riddler, the Grinch, and Count Olaf, those three, he's he's doing his best, but he's terrible when he's not given direction. Like Ace Ventura, he's unhinged, but he's given direction. The Mask, he's given direction because he's a person first, most foremost. But good God, him as Count Olaf, it should be a slam dunk, but he's so unhinged that it just makes me cringe. I watched A Series of Unfortunate Events in high school, and I was just like, nope, not for me. Like, I watched it in high school, and I'm like, oh god, this hurts. This absolutely hurts me. I'm like, what is this? What the is this? Crumbs. Really shot myself in the foot. But yeah, like, the Grinch movie, Neil was better than him. He really was. You know what? I never saw it, but I'm gonna have to take your word for it. I know Neil Patrick Harris. I never saw the series that he was in, but I'm gonna take your word for it, and I'm gonna trust your word on it because, like, Jim Carrey was just unbearable. And here's the thing: again, I like Jim Carrey. I absolutely do. I used to spin two of his 1994 movies, not Dumb and Dumber. I used to watch Ace Ventura every time I went over to my cousin's house when I was a child. I used to watch The Mask every time it was on TV. My favorite movie of all time is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I like his dramatic work more than his comedic work. I keep suggesting I Love You, Philip Morris, Eternal Sunshine. Like, holy crumbs. He's actually a really damn good actor. Even in the number 23, which is a bad movie, he was good in it. But that's because he was well directed, just the movie was garbage. Like, did anybody take the number 23 seriously when they watched it? Because I did at first, and then I watched it. Like, I watched the number 23, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, you're being paranoid over a number. Like, even like counting the letters in your name, and then you're just adding other things. You are stretching this premise a lot. Like, he's really good despite like some unfortunate circumstances with Man on the Moon, which is not a great movie, but he's good in it. I never saw Taxi. He was good in The Majestic, although that's like a dad movie. No, not a dad movie. It's your grandfather's movie. That is totally a dad and grandfather movie. Like, your dad and his dad kind of movie. Like, I watched it and I'm like, because here's the thing. I watched that movie because it was part of like a 4-movie collection with Jim Carrey, which I borrowed from the library. One of them was The Majestic, and I decided, hey, I'll watch the Jim Carrey movie I never watched first. And I'm like, yeah, this is not for me. This is clearly not for me. This is like for an older generation. Like, it's a complete dad movie. Like, my goodness. But yeah, I used to read those Lemony Snicket books when I was a child. Like, if it wasn't Harry Potter, it was a series of unfortunate events. A book series that I don't hear anybody talk about. To this day, I hear more about Twilight than Lemony Snicket. Like, I wish people would talk more about the books. Because, like, those books I really did enjoy reading. I think I read all of them. I had all of them at one point. I bought the first 8 books at a Value Village for like $8 because they were that old. Yeah, like they came out in the 2000s. Like I remember, like there was a classmate who didn't like me, and I just found the book at the library, and I think she was like, "Oh, you only like those books because you saw I was reading them." It's like, no, no, I didn't. Like that's the thing. I didn't know that she was reading them. Probably not on purpose, but the only reason I actually read them was because I was running out of books to read at the school library, and I ended up just wanting to read something else. And there was a series of unfortunate events. It was right there. Like just because I read a book that you like doesn't mean I ruined it. Like that seems that seems kind of far-fetched that I ruined something despite not even discussing it with you yet. Sorry about that. Um, yeah, like, okay, so real talk. I actually was playing Sonic Shadow. I was playing Sonic Shadow Generations for about 2 or 3 hours before I went on stream. Okay, so yeah, so I ended up going to bed, waking up at around around two, and what ended up happening was my brain was like, let's go play Sonic and Shadow. Some people are special, but I am the most special. Was I'm guessing that is I'm guessing that right there is a shot, not a shout out, but a reference. Or you're talking about the Lemony Snicket situation. My goodness. Um, but yeah, like holy crumbs. I mean, it was better as a TV series. Here's the thing. It was better as a TV series anyway. Special. I made it myself. This tea party is ruined. Spil. Seal. No, the girl. Oh, the girl with the book saying you ruined it. Oh, that 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 was her name. Her name was special. Um um is the girl with the book? Wait a minute. Hold on. We're talking about the same thing. Is it like a sequel to the girl with the dragon tattoo? Is it the new series? Is it the new book in the series? The girl with the dragon tattoo, the girl that played with fire, and then the recent one is called the girl with the book. Is is that it? Oh God. I only read the first three books of that series, and I remember really liking them. Although those are those are fairly long and kind of dense books. I got through them okay. Like it took me what 2 or 3 days to read a book, and that was because it was like back when I was at my first job, and it took me two buses to like two buses. Oh yeah, I know. I know who you were talking about. I'm just messing with you. Like the girl with the dragon tattoo, the girl with the book. Yeah, I know. Um, um, Fleff, Flea, Flef, Flev, Flev, Flea. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. Um, did you are you screaming because of like the sound, the alert? Because that actually scares me. No, I'm slow as I'm okay. That's fair. Me slow as said I am the most special. No, that's me. I'm the slow one. I didn't get it. Well, I got it. It's just like I was messing with you. Um, but yeah, like if somebody actually tells you that you ruined something just because you are reading it, but you haven't said anything, chances are they probably didn't. Chances are they're probably gatekeepers. Like, they probably are gatekeepers. Like she was probably like gatekeeping. It's like it's my book. No one should be allowed. Like you reading it is is gonna like make it uncool. And it's like, how's it uncool? How's it uncool to like something? Like not many. Here's the thing. Here's what I remember. Not many people in my class read those books. Like, in fact, not many people actually really read all that much. Not because of that. Like, and that was because like there were like a lot of students were forced to read. Now here's the thing. I'm not saying. Here's the thing. I think reading is amazing. Like I love reading. Like I read stuff that is out of my zone, including romance novels. One of my favorite romance books is a book called It Happened One Night, which is about this rich socialite who gets into trouble, ends up going to jail for a night, and then her stepfather, I think, actually says, okay, you are going to leave this city and you are going to this fisherman town. This fisherman's town where her late dad used to like be at or like was working at. And so she doesn't like it at first. She goes with her sister, and then eventually is she slowly starts to love the town, and she ends up finding a love interest. It sounds cliched, but I did like the book. I genuinely did like It Happened One Night. And I was smiling and laughing, and I was just like, oh, you know? Like, so yeah, there are stuff that I like that is outside of my comfort zone. Comfort zone being horror. Although, comfort zone also being fairy tale retellings, like Ash by Melinda Lowe, or like the Lunar Chronicles, by Melissa Mayer. Since when was reading in school cool? That's the thing, though. I love reading. I absolutely love reading. But I do not being told what to read. So, most of the books I read, I did not care for. I did not care for a fair share of books. I would rather just do a book report about a book that I actually like and can get invested in than a book that I have to be assigned to that is class reading and I just don't really care for. Like, it just doesn't tickle my fancy. Like, yeah, we have, like, there are books like, not Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, you know, the usual, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I didn't care about the book as a kid. Like, I did not care about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the book, as a kid. Like, I genuinely didn't care for it. Yeah, I didn't care. Watching the movie was mind blowing. Um, but yeah, it's not so much that reading in school wasn't cool as much as being told what to read, like as a reading assignment was not. Like, as somebody who loves reading, whenever somebody tells me or asks me what they should read, I actually ask them what genres do they like? Like, what kind of movies do they like? What shows do they like? Like, what kind of things? Like, something funny, dramatic, serious, romantic. I don't want to give them something that I would like because they would probably not like it. Or I would not give them the so-called essentials or best books ever because, you know, just because it's the best book ever doesn't mean people are going to like it. Like, I would just like look into what they like and just suggest a book based on what they like. You know? Like something along the lines of that. You know? Like, I still don't care for Romeo and Juliet or Hamlet, but I do respect Shakespeare as a writer. Like, I even told my partner this. You can't make me read something. Like, you can't make me read. Like, because I'm just not going to be that invested. But you can make me strip. I'm kidding. Um, but, like, yeah, like, so I get it. Like, people are like, I read in school and that's it. I get it. I absolutely 100% get that people don't like reading because of school. Like, I absolutely understand. Because if I didn't read as much, I wouldn't have read as much as I do. Although, that was because my dad. That was because my dad took away my video game controllers, like just to concentrate on school. He would take away my video game controllers until the weekend or until I did my homework because I was just so obsessed with video games. And then he would take away my controllers, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. Fine. And so I ended up needing an addiction displacement, and that was reading. And reading a lot. I read a lot in school and to this day. At one point, I ended up taking out like 16 books out of the public library. Like, yeah, 16 books. And, and it's not like 16 books like in succession. I mean, 16 books and taking it out of the library. I mean, like going in with no books and then taking out 16. Not like take out 5 one day, take out 4 one day. No, 16 books. And like, yeah, you know. And my reading got so obsessive that at one point my teacher ended up taking away flyers that I would read. I would read flyers because I needed just to read something. Um, and at one point, my dad hid books that I was going to read, which was, it was one thing if it was my books, but they were library books, and he forgot where he put those library books. It was difficult. But hey, you know, whatever. 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 I'm kidding. Um, how is everybody feeling tonight? I'm kidding. Because after this, I am going to go to the library. No, not the library. I went to the library yesterday. Ah, damn it. Oh, right, I re-borrowed Monster Hunter Wilds. My dad is an a-hole, but he wrote books. I heard that was good. Yeah, sometimes you have to begrudge the fact that people can be a-holes, but they are very talented. Like Morrissey. Morrissey is an a-hole, but he's very talented. Can't we just get people who are a-holes and not talented? Oh wait, we have. And a couple of those people end up being getting their asses kicked by professional boxers. Um, my dad was a jerk and merely believed he was talented. Oh, so oh, oh. We all know those types of people. And oh yes, this was a good weekend for scumbags being punched in the face. Especially on the internet. Especially when you can just rewind it over and over again on the internet, just in slow motion. Like, it was just so fun. Like, especially with a certain, like, one of the scumbags, not the one who had his jaw broken. Yeah, not the YouTuber who had his jaw broken. The other scumbag. Oh my goodness, that was like catharsis. That was genuine catharsis. Like, a lot of people were hoping for a Rocky 4 scenario. Apollo Creed in Rocky 4. Yes, that one. That scumbag. a lot of people were hoping for Apollo Creed in Rocky 4 scenario. Like a fair share of people were actually hoping for that. Um, and I found it hilarious. But like he wrote the Ice Crown, and another called Silver Fox. In case you want to check them out, is Sean Beach as well. Oh, okay. I was like, I did I stroke out? Because there's a good chance I did strike out, stroke out. Oh God, I'll look into it. But I also have other books that I actually have to read. Like I have three Sabrina the Teenage Witch books and a book called Seasick. Let me see. In the small town of Oklahoma, ex-best friends Naya and Yana have always felt like outsiders. But this year, everything changes when they're invited to join an exclusive society of Yatesville High's best and brightest recent graduates. Coveted scholarships await them, as does a privileged world of unimaginable opportunities, starting with a luxurious yacht trip to Bermuda. Despite the certain onslaught of their peers' microaggressions and backhanded compliments, as well as their own rocky past, Yana and Naya are ready for an epic celebration. Then one of their classmates is brutally murdered, and they're stranded at sea with a killer on the loose. Yana and Naya may have avoided each other for years, but as the body count rises, Yin rekindling their friendship may be the only way they both stay alive. Let's see how this works out. Oh, we're gonna see how that turns out. I borrowed that book yesterday after I got my locks redone. I will give him his dues. Wasn't a good person to me, but props go to children learning to read and write. Uh, I mean, my goodness. Not the best parent, but my goodness, he absolutely wants children to read and write, which apparently some schools don't want. Some people absolutely don't want, like, books to challenge kids in schools for some reason. Yeah, no, I meant my door. I had to redo my door. I had to redo my door because I kept punching it because it kept yanking my hair, which I also had to redo because of the door. Like, I don't get why people just don't want kids to, like, you know, have an education, like have like to read or write, be challenged by what they read, you know? Like, what is the point of trying to ban hello God, hey there God, it's me, it's Margaret. What is the point? Because it talks about like period. It talks about period. Like, who else is going to teach them? Because if they're just going to be like, yeah, but we don't want books. Okay, what about teachers? We don't want teachers. Yeah, they want to control them, but eventually there are going to be a few outliers that are going to be like, well, you can't control. Like, if I had a kid, I'd probably let them like read whatever they want. Like, here's the thing. Like, being told, like, it's not a new thing. Like, that's the issue. It's always been around, even when we were kids. Like, um Satan worship and all that in the 80s. 90s was video games. 2000s was like books. No, wait. It was always books. And like, because like certain books are just like at a stage where it's like, we don't want you to read this because it'll just give you thoughts, or like mature thoughts. It's like, yeah, yeah, it's called growing up. When I was a kid, I heard about these banned books. Like, I'm pretty sure when we were kids, there was always an issue of controlling what kids would read or banning books. Like, hello, hey God, it's me there, Margaret. That's still a controversial book. Why? Because of talking about periods, talking about puberty. Like everybody goes through puberty. Like pretty like I'm pretty. I mean, granted, that has always been an issue, but still, like, I'm not the best at saying it, but jeez, like it's slightly worse than the people who are like, what, back in my day we never did this, like, um the 6-7 craze, like 6-7, like 6-7, like that craze, like that meme, and people are just like really. Some people are pissed off because it's like being overdone, and some people are like, we never had that when we were kids. It's like, yes, you did. You absolutely did. You 100% did. Every generation runs a joke to the ground. Every generation has that. Just because it's not like we weren't that annoying, you were that annoying. I was that annoying. I'm still that annoying. Like, I still quote YouTube poops, and my boyfriend is pissed off sometimes. Like, I ran that to the ground. Like, when you're a kid, you will run jokes to the ground like it's out of style. Like, every generation has that. Every generation has its memes that other generations have. You know? That's why they're called memes. Sometimes you just don't get it. Like the 6-7 thing. That actually made me cheer because a generation of kids have a meme that they can run to the ground and annoy other people. I'm okay with it. I don't necessarily get it, but I'm absolutely okay with like generations running stuff to the ground. I'm just not okay with generations just looking down on like younger generations because they don't get a meme. It's like, it's fine. It's not for you. It absolutely is not for you. Like, then don't mock them for it. Don't say that it's like the downfall of society. Don't say it's like the last Jedi of your childhood. Don't say like, oh, by the way, the last Jedi. I'm pretty sure in like 5 years, people are just gonna go around to that movie and think it's not a perfect movie. But what were we like angry about? Like, people were angry about The Last Jedi. But, like, neither here or there. Neither here or there. Oh, God. I mean, like, again, every, every generation has its jokes that they ran to the ground. And I'm seeing things from millennials that they criticized other generations for. Like on YouTube, there's like songs that were big in the 2000s. And then you get these like millennials that are like, this is what music was. This is like perfect. Like, this is the best generation. It's like, you know, you're sounding. You're. Why are you sounding like this? Like, why are you talking like this? Every generation has its like biggest moments and dumbest moments. Like like oh god. You're sounding like a 50-year-old person who's going through a midlife crisis way too early. No, you're actually having a midlife crisis. Like, sorry to like keep doing this, but my god, why? Like, I was like that at first, but then I grew out of it when I realized as a kid I was listening to songs from the 40s and 50s and 60s. I was listening to songs from the 50s and 60s when I was like 10 years old. Not because of my parents. My parents were actually listening to stuff that was current. I'm talking about myself. Like me listening to a radio station that played 50s and 60s music. Like, if you were to ask me as a kid what music I was listening to, people are going to be like, "Are you a 50-year-old?" And I'm like, "Probably. I don't know." Yes, I am. So what? It's like, yes, I am. Buy a girl an egg cream first. Wait, do you mind buying a girl an egg cream first? I don't even know what is an egg cream, anyways. I just heard that from a podcast. A cold beverage consisting of. Isn't this just a milkshake? Wait, isn't that just a milkshake? No, no, a egg cream, like this. Isn't this just a milkshake? What is a cream egg? I hope it's not something. I hope that's not something like. Oh, that's AI. Okay, so this is a cream egg. Um, but when I thought of like egg cream, I actually thought of like egg on top of cup. Like this, like some sort of egg cream. Actually, come to think of it, I don't even know what I was thinking. Wait, what the hell was I think? Was I talking about this? I was talking about this the whole time. A soft boiled egg. I confused egg cream with soft boiled egg. For 15 years of my life, I confused a cream egg with egg cream. Or a soft boiled egg with egg cream. Oh my god. Oh my god. I. Oh. This is why Google is your friend, Kiara. This is why the boyfriend has to strip. Sugar overdose sweet. It. I love sugar, but I need salt. Is it because of the estrogen? Probably. I blame the estrogen. I just need salt. Um, I don't want to eat salt again. I don't want salt in my hot chocolate though. My taste buds can't handle that anymore. I'm sorry, I can't. Okay, so my sister put a lot of salt in the sugar bowl where my mom would. Okay, so my mom would used to make hot chocolate before school every morning. So there would be hot chocolate sugar and then the regular sugar. And my sister would put salt in some at one point she put salt in the sugar, but I didn't tell anybody. So I got punished as well. And so yeah, my mom woke up, saw this and was like, "Okay, you and you're getting salt in the hot chocolate." And it was like maddening. Like I wanted to choke. I genuinely wanted to choke so bad. After drinking like the hot chocolate with salt. Like it was rough. It was such a rough time. Like I thought me trying to finish that huge lollipop a few years earlier was bad. At the very least, it was a lollipop. The issue was that I was doing it too much. Like I got sick of it after a while. But salt with the hot chocolate, it was like, it was pretty much like killing my taste buds. My God. I'll take salt with McDonald's fries, but not salt with this. You can't make me. You can't make me go back. Don't make me go back to that. It was rough. It was. It was. Ugh. But hey, you know, at the very least, my mom ended up like taking out the salt, and it's got like we were fine the next day. Um, but yeah, this was when we were kids, and I was pretty much like the oldest middle child. Like I was the oldest. I am the oldest out of me and my two sisters. The issue is that I did not rule. I did not act like an older sister. I was more of a laid back person. Salt. Salt. That's my favorite Angelina Jolie movie. Or, Salt and what's this? Peppa! Yeah, that doesn't work without, my. I miss Cass. God, I miss her. Shoot, I miss that girl. Like, I guess she's doing fine. Uh, she doesn't stream anymore. She hasn't streamed since 2021, but damn it, I miss that girl. Alright, so we are 29 minutes away from a new year. I mean, the end of the stream. Anybody else want to say something? Or are we gonna get difficult? We're gonna get difficult. No, we're not going to get difficult. I'm just surprised that I can sit down and stream for 2.5 hours without using my phone, and yet I can't do the same thing while watching a movie. My gran used to wash my mouth out with soap for answering back. She lost control the day I answered back and washed my own mouth out with soap. Hang up on her. Hang up on her. But you and my sister would get along great because, like, she actually had more of a. She has more of a backbone. When, like, she still does, but as a kid, she had more of a backbone. And me, I'm just like, well, let me put it this way. I was more like Tina, and she was more like Louise Belcher. Like, yes, I'm the oldest, but she clearly is the idea girl, and she is pretty much like the one that people remember more, or like has the like more of a personality than I did. Like, I'm like I was the person who wrote in a journal for. Where's my journal? My journal's back there. But my journal that I wrote for 7 years. I wrote in a journal for 7 years. The only reason I stopped was because I was running out of pages. And I went from Christmas of 1 year to my first year of college. It was that long. 7 years, and it was that long. And at one point, I ended up writing in my journal every day for a month. And reading back my journal, I was psychotic. I'm pretty sure I was absolutely psychotic reading my journal entries. Like, holy shoot. I have seen some open and shut cases, but I am glad after a certain incident in the 10th grade, I am 100% glad. Like, I am genuinely glad that nobody read my journal. Like, here's the thing. Anytime I see somebody saying that they read their kid's journal, fictional or non-fictional, I don't know. I get so upset for the person's journal. I get upset at the person reading the journal because it's not for them. It's their own personal thoughts. Like, that's why I was so upset with my sister when she ended up putting cuts. She takes my journal. She actually did cut some of the. I'll just show you. I'll show you. So, where is it? She did cut. All right, so I don't know if you can see it, but she did make cuts here. I don't want to. So she made cuts right here, like she made cuts right here. Um, yeah, she absolutely like snuck. My God, this was. Here's the thing. This was pre-trans me, and this was pre-trans me being very upset that my sister actually looked into. I was pretty much like a teenage girl, pre-transition teenage girl, getting upset at my sister for taking my journal and reading what was in it. That's pretty much why I kind of get like have a visceral reaction whenever like a parent is saying I read in my so and so's journal or diary and I'm like, why? Don't do that. That's their own thoughts. If you want, they can either tell you or you can tell them. Or, they're a teenager. They're supposed to be moody. Like looking back at my I was a moody teenager. Looking back at my journals, I was a psychotic, insane teenager. Okay, preteen. You know what? I was psychotic as a preteen. Then I started mellowing out a little bit as a teenager. Then when I was in college, it just kind of went to normal. Love testing the limit. They ignore me 90% of the time. I figured out I had control easy when you take the stuff away from them. My dad, for example, used to hit me and my stepbrothers. And one time I laughed because he had snot coming out of his nose. Once hit me, he stopped and never hit me again. Jeez. Oh God, I'm so sorry to hear. I'm honestly sorry to hear that. Like I know everybody. I know you're looking at a different way of viewing it, but still, I'm sorry for what you have to go through. Like I'm genuinely sorry. What is that smell? Um. Sorry, I'm smelling something. I don't get it. Is it the dog? I didn't say that out loud, did I? Oh God. Ah. Oh God. Okay, my head still hurts because like I said, I redid my locks. So I redid my locks and the locks are still hurting. Like they are tight. Like I actually had to let them loose. Like usually I would actually tie them up, but I thought if I could let them loose they would hurt less. No, 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 no. My head still hurts. Oh, my head. Uh, yeah, I just want I grew out. Here's the thing: I grew out my hair so I could actually cover my face sometimes, like this. Like I grew out, yeah, I grew out my hair so I can cover my face. Hold on. Uh, oh, yeah, it doesn't cover like my locks don't cover my entire face. Oh, crumbs. Yeah, they don't cover my entire face for some reason. Like back when it was shorter, my hair could actually like. But yeah, I can't like. Uh, it's okay. It happens. Those were the days back then with no excuse. But I really don't know anyone that didn't back at least. But still, I am sorry for what you were going through. Like, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. You know? Yeah, I wouldn't wish that for anyone, and I am sorry for what you had to go through. All right. But I'm glad that you're here with us now. You know, we're all really glad that you're here with us now. But don't worry, we only have about 20 minutes left, and then we could just stop the stream because I don't want. Like I said, last stream I did was 90 minutes, so I'm making up for it by 90 minutes and like pretty much doubling it. I'm I'm trying to be as long as Star Wars, or yeah, longer than Star Wars, which I already did. We have learned from past mistakes, which is a good thing. It's why I have a problem with people saying movies should be made because it had questionable things. Don't change the movie. You're looking away at it. We don't make movies like that. Now we have learned and adapted, which is part of history. Yeah, um, yeah, pretty much. And you also have the risk of like if you remake a movie that removes the questionable things, you are also at the risk of putting questionable things that seem good, like a good idea at the time. You know, like the movies that should be remade should be like there are movies that people say that should be remade because of questionable things. It wasn't questionable back then, but because the society has moved on and culture has kind of grown, we look back at it and see the questionable things. Um, like, but we also shouldn't actually like get rid of or take off things that have questionable things because yeah, we absolutely have to learn from it. Um, yeah, like if we like make things disappear, how will we learn from it? Especially uh don't change just to be happy. It doesn't happen now. Like there are remakes that actually build upon an idea, you know? Like remakes shouldn't be remakes should not be movies should not be remade because they should like um let me okay movies should not be remade just to like just to say this is a good idea or get rid of like questionable things. Movies should be remade to look at the idea and expand upon it as best as you can. Viadora, how are you? Welcome. Do you want me to shout you out? Because I don't because I know you still stream because you were streaming the Outer Worlds too. I should know. I've seen it. But it's hi for a few minutes. Hopefully you're doing okay. You ain't gotta do nothing. Okay. If you don't want me to, that's fine. Because this stream is gonna be over in about 17 minutes. Um and then we're going to raid because after this I am going to the gym for about an hour because quite frankly my legs my my legs. I woke up early and saw you were on. Well, this is the early stream. I started at 5 a.m. Canadian time. So yeah, um, this is the early stream. We were talking about Rob Reiner and music from the 2000s. For like almost half an hour, I was talking about Blink 182 for no reason. Who talks about Blink 182 for 30 minutes? Who, like, Canadian time comes with syrup? Um, it used to, but then I stopped because I don't want diabetes and I'm trying to cut back on a lot. Also, I can't find any pure maple syrup. Not ever since the. But don't worry, I have sauce. There's 182 reasons to talk about them. Uh, I mean, I did talk about them for over 182 seconds. Uh, yeah, I talked about Jerry Finn. Jerry Finn, R.I.P.D. Yeah, okay, I did read Mark Hoppus's book. Okay, so Travis Barker has a book. Mark Hoppus has a book. Now I'm waiting for Tom DeLonge. I'm waiting for Tom DeLonge's book. Like, because two of the three already have them. Why not? Just why not? Like, and can I just say I like Blink 182 enough to buy a couple of their albums, three in fact, but they are not my go-to in terms of pop punk. That goes to Green Day or Sum 41, especially Green Day. Um, it's not over. It's like, but like listening, like here's the thing. Blink 182 has a special place in my heart, not because of the 2000s, but because of the early 2010s. Like to go back from before, from what I said was talking about them earlier. Um, Ongoing History of New Music is a podcast I listen to, and that podcast got me into Blink 182 a little bit. So anytime I hear The Rock Show, um, First Date, Damn It, um, What's My Age Again, I just think of the mid 2010s. Not even the 2000s. The mid 2010s just reminds me of that. Wasn't Blink 182 in a Scooby Doo movie? If you're talking about the live action one, I don't know. I love me some Green Day. I don't know if Blink 182 was in Scooby Doo. I think you're thinking of Simple Plan. One of the cartoon ones. I don't think they were. I think you're thinking of Simple Plan. It was Simple Plan because Simple Plan did a theme song for it. Like Simple Plan did do a theme song. Like it's even right here. It even says it right here. Like Simple Plan, What's New Scooby Doo? Like, yeah. My goodness, I remember when Simple Plan was more hated than Nickelback, and neither of them actually had any reason to be. Like, I remember when everybody hated Nickelback because they made the same song over and over again, which is strange because it was just, you know, Simple Plan did the theme song, yep, and there's a music video where they're hanging out with them, yeah. And I think they actually did a music video for like the second live action movie with Matthew Lillard. Um, But like I remember the hatred for Nickelback that just spawned upon a joke, and everybody just hated Nickelback because they like, yeah, they only do the same song every time, and it's like, no, you only heard the same song every time on the radio. Like there's only 3 Nickelback songs that have the similar structure. You know, like some people are like, all Nickelback songs sound the same, and then you hear, "Look at this photograph." Does photograph sound anything like "This Is How You Remind Me"? I only know Simple Plan is the band who did the Scooby Doo theme song. Hey, you know what? That's totally fair. They're Canadian. They're kind of our problem. Nickelback doesn't deserve the hate. Like I remember a few years ago, they actually had to can't. They didn't want their what's it called? They did not want their performance broadcast, while a lot of other people did. And that's fair. That's 100% fair. If they don't want their performance broadcast, that is totally 100% fair. And a fair share of people don't want their performances broadcast. And yet you would think that like and people were flat out offended about that. It's like, oh, Nickelback thinks they're so much they Nickelback thinks that they're so much better than TV or whatever. And it's like it's a good thing Nickelback actually did that, like canceled, like didn't want their performance being out there. That would have actually drove people insane. And it's like, so you're just bouncing on the Nickelback hate, huh? You, yeah, you clearly are just going on the Nickelback hate for some reason. No idea why. No, I'm kidding. Um, no, but like, yeah, Nickelback does not deserve the hate. Did not deserve the hate. Like, it was just meme hate, and now the Nickelback hate is dying down because people are realizing, why do we hate them again? Like you can criticize them, absolutely, but people actually look at it and go, why do we hate them again? Why do we hate Nickelback? It's pretty much like female Ghostbusters. Like every people were like angry about like how female Ghostbusters was ruining their childhoods. And now those same people don't even know why they hated female Ghostbusters. You just sit down people who actually were just angry about female Ghostbusters. You sit them down today and they're going to be like, "Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, I didn't bother. Uh Either I don't remember or didn't bother." And they're like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that." So everybody hates Taylor Swift. Well, it's not because that they hate her for being popular. Um, they just don't like her because of other aspects. Like people hated Nickelback because they said that all of their songs sounded the same. People don't like Taylor Swift because like she um what was it? I think that's because like it's not because of the hate, it's because of the eventual like backlash, you know. Every pop star that actually here's the thing. Every pop star that is extremely popular ends up getting backlash. And you know, there are Taylor Swift fans who are really into Taylor Swift. I'm just going to leave it at that. Really like Taylor Swift. Like, holy mother of God. My area of expertise. I hate a great many things. Anthropy Cat, welcome. You're a first time chatter, welcome. I hope you're doing okay. Let me introduce myself. I'm Kiara Strings. I'm a trans woman, and this is the early stream where we just talk about stuff. That's it. But we're gonna wind down soon because, quite frankly, 3 hours is more than enough. Let's be fair. 3 hours is more than enough. Any more than 3 hours, I mean, I've done 4 hour streams, but yeah, I don't want to do three. What the flying? Ign- y'all, y'all should probably ignore that. Um, I'll thank you for coming by, but I'm only gonna stream for like 6 minutes, only 6 minutes, and then I'm gonna have to gym. I'm going to. I'm glad I could pop in. Haven't seen you in a while. I haven't seen anybody in a while, but uh, then again, I do lurk on your streams. But thank you for coming in. Absolutely, thank you. Thank you all for coming. So, what have we learned? Um, all right, I should probably remember when everybody was like angry at Chris Pratt. I mean, you could be upset about Chris Pratt now, but like the worst thing that Chris Pratt actually said was he was glad about his healthy baby. Like he had a newborn child. And everybody and he's like, I'm glad for and what do you say? Here's the thing. Shall I tell you the story about how a dumb terrorist group gifted me the best thing in my life? That's fair. You could, absolutely could, but you gotta, because you go for it. We only have 5 minutes left. Like, okay, so when you want to announce that you have a newborn baby, what do? You say, I'm glad we have a newborn baby. I'm excited. This is kind of scary. We have a healthy newborn. Something regular like that, right? And Chris Pratt did that. He absolutely did. He just was like, I have a newborn child and they're completely healthy. And then people on the internet started melting down because they thought he was dissing his mentally challenged child. Like he thought because he said healthy newborn, they thought he was dissing his other child, which is clearly not the case. And people were like, "Oh God, what?" and just like dogpiling it. So at that point, it's like, okay, so you're just going to like be angry at him for saying that his newborn child is healthy. That seems like an actually genuinely normal thing. People, yeah, people want an excuse to get mad. Like you can get mad at Chris Pratt. You can. You have genuine reasons. You like. Here's the thing: getting mad at Chris Pratt. You people have genuine criticisms of him, but saying that he sucks because he said that his newborn was healthy, like, can you not? Like essentially you're angry at him being happy about a newborn. Like a health like people do suck and people need to get off of Twitter. People absolutely need to get most of it came from Twitter or Instagram. Like that's pretty much why I deleted my Twitter, Instagram. Like even my partner was like shocked when I told him that I just deleted pretty much all my social media. Deleted my Facebook, deleted my Twitter, deleted my Instagram because I don't use it. Like my partner straight up was like, why don't you call your sister? It's like my phone plan doesn't allow that because she's out of the province. So me and my wife were on a trip to Vienna with this Taylor Swift concert. I'm not crazy about Taylor Swift, but hey, the concert was canceled because of terrorist threats, so we ended up eating in a restaurant. I'm not saying that might have happened. Like, oh, that's fair. Oh God, I'm so sorry to hear about like the terror threat against like Taylor Swift. Like, but I'm glad that your kid was born and born healthy. Twitter should be for porn and fan art. That is what Tumblr is for. That is Tumblr, or that was Tumblr. I haven't used Tumblr in a while. I don't know how Tumblr is anymore. I genuinely don't know how Tumblr is because I logged out of it because I had a meltdown last year. I had a massive meltdown on Tumblr, so I haven't been on Tumblr for a year. I left Tumblr when they banned nudity. Hasn't stopped anyone from still doing it. Ugh, my God, I remembered. Like, I used, like, Tumblr for me was something I used from 2011 to 10. No, 11 to 16. But everybody, thank you all for coming. I don't know when the next time I'll stream is, but I genuinely need to go. Okay, not go, but the person like no, sorry. Okay, so everybody, thank you all for coming. I don't know when I'm gonna be back. I'm not gonna be here for Christmas Eve because I'm gonna be with my parents. But everybody have a safe and amazing Christmas. I'll be back whenever I can, hopefully. But we are gonna raid Val and Vane. But everybody, thank you all for coming to whatever this is. Um, but until I was thinking about Ariana Grande. Oh God, that was sad. But thank you all for coming. My name is Kiara Strings. I'm a trans woman, and this is the early stream. Thank you, and have a good one. Proper crimbo to you too, bisected. Proper crimbo to you too. And a Merry Christmas, Adam, to all who celebrated. Merry Christmas, Adam. Indeed.